Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome to my final video of 2018, which can only mean it's time for the top 10 2018 projects video for the SlimKirby channel. This is a video I do every single year on December 31st, and it's basically a way I can take a look back at all the projects and games I covered this year, and give a personal top 10 list to how I felt about the projects, and highlight which projects I personally think were the best. Now, for the last couple of years, I actually made this list based on the votes from the Strawpoll that I posted in the voting video that I usually post in the middle of December. And it's been basically held in that format for the last couple of years. However, for this particular video, I'm going to be changing things up a little bit, where the top 10 is actually going to be based on my opinion, and at the very end of the video, I'll have essentially the results that you guys voted for. I think it kind of makes more sense to do it in this fashion, because there's going to be a lot of discrepancies in the actual viewer votes. Not to say that what you guys are selecting is wrong or anything, but I'm fully aware that there are some people who didn't watch every single project. Maybe there was a game that didn't necessarily interest you when you voted, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. You want to watch the projects that you watched, and you want to vote for the ones that you enjoyed. That's perfectly understandable, but as someone who has actually gone through all the projects and played all the games, I feel like I can give a little more insight to why I ranked the projects in the form that I did. And, you know, this way I can still show the votes at the very end of it. I can still kind of get some very valuable input from people who did watch a lot of projects, just so I can kind of know what I might want to do for 2019. Maybe that'll kind of influence my decision to cover a specific game or a specific series earlier than I initially planned. So all the votes are still very, very important to me. I don't want to discredit any of the people who did vote for this poll, but do understand that for the main list, it's going to be mostly focused on my own personal opinion. But yeah, that's basically how this is going to be going through. I'll start from number 10, work my way up to number 1, and yeah, that's pretty much how this is going to be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at the top 10 2018 YouTube projects for the SlimKirby channel. Coming in at number 10, we have Ratchet Clank, the first PlayStation platformer I've done on my channel. I have to admit, when I was going over my projects for this list, I actually forgot that I even did this game this year, but that's mainly the fault of 2018 just being the most whirlwind of a year so far. Seriously, it seems like just last week I was in Florida for spring vacation, but here we are closer to 2019 spring season. Anyway, Ratchet Clank is a fun little game, especially if you're a fan of action platformers and using really awesome weapons and utilities to take care of enemies and navigate the world around you. It also has a lot of very fun and quirky characters and great dialogue to boot, so overall, just a nice game to sit back and have fun with. Although I didn't remember too much about this project, it was great to actually play through the entire game for once, as opposed to just 1/3 of it like I had to for the Crystal Star Studio playthrough a couple of years back, when we were actually doing that project. It was a fun ride, and I look forward to playing some of the other games of the series, but for this particular list, it's going to be the one clocking in at number 10.
Perfect! This is precisely what I need! You will bring me more raritanium.
You can't be serious.
Well, I tried.
You know, I do have to give him credit. He did try. He definitely tried. I have to give him that at the very least. He did try. When the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy got announced for Switch, I was happy because I had a lot of great fun playing the original PlayStation trilogy in preparation for the YouTube playthroughs. And with the remastered collection coming to a current-gen console I actually had, it meant I had a reason to upgrade and cover a more complete and less archaic version of the games in question. I was most looking forward to playing Crash Bandicoot 2, my favorite of the original trilogy when I played through it, but after some of the difficulties I had in the playthrough, I didn't feel entirely convinced that it was worthy of a top 10 status. However, when it came to Crash Bandicoot 1 on the other hand, I don't know if I was just in a better mindset or I was just more prepared for it, but I think I had more fun Let's Playing Crash 1 over Crash 2 personally. I think it also helps that there's way more to talk about in regards to Crash 1, as it was already kind of notoriously known for being the most brutal one of the three. But when you make a version of the game that's more playable and less frustrating to 100%, it becomes a way more pleasant experience. See, there is definitely value to making things more convenient while still keeping a fair bit of challenge and difficulty on the table. Game developers should really learn this. I made it. Why did I do that? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? It may seem kind of weird to see a Mario Party game so close to the bottom of the list, but in my defense, we are talking about Island Tour here. Mario Party has definitely had a bit of a rough road during this era, after elimination of Hudson Soft, and a change to the core formula that didn't exactly throw a lot of the Mario Party purists out there. I'd argue that with the release of Star Rush and Super Mario Party, they are starting to get to the right track again, but Island Tour was definitely a low point of the series. As far as the playthrough is concerned, I'll say that it wasn't bad, and I do remember getting some enjoyment out of looking at the game from an analytical perspective, and trying to see what the game did right. Short answer, there are some interesting things, but it just made me want more substance that the game just wasn't delivering on, which is really quite a shame when you break it down. Oh well, at least Star Rush is on the horizon for my channel, and for Island Tour, at least it was an enjoyable playthrough for what it was. Okay, moment of truth, guys. I hate you. Okay, so it's random. Okay, well. Peach, you suck, you stupid. Oh my god, really? That. Look at how much ground I have to cover. Oh my god. What happens when you take a Mario game and shove endless amounts of coins down Mario's throat? You get New Super Mario Bros. 2. This was a playthrough I was honestly looking forward to just because I really wasn't sure what to expect from it. It wasn't a very memorable game the first time I played it, and it was hard to differentiate if it was because the game was just too easy, or if I was just kind of tired of the New Super Mario Bros. Formula after the third or fourth time of doing it in the last decade. I can see elements of both cases being prevalent here, but I will say that I do think the game is a little better than I thought and gave it credit for. It's nothing groundbreaking and still is probably the weakest of the four games, but it did have some interesting and intriguing level design in some parts and was fun going through the game again. I have to say, it was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Now let's jump in here and destroy the crap out of Iggy Koopa. To again make sure he never frickin' spanks that butt of his ever again. Oh, you're dead! We're gonna just have fun ripping this guy apart, guys. When I did NES Remix 1 the previous year in 2017, I had a bit of a rough start with the project, and I admit that I hadn't considered the best way to approach that particular game. However, this was a good lesson and discovery for me because I knew exactly what to expect and how to handle NES Remix 2 when I eventually got to it this year. Although it was overall an easier project with less stamp points required to get everything, Rainbow Star requirements being a bit more lenient, and having games I was overall more familiar with, it did make the project a lot more fun for me and a better experience for me overall. It was a great game, had some great games on it, some really awesome challenges, and overall it was just a fun project to work on. If only they could get around to making an SNES remix, that's the only thing I'd want now. Enter the door beyond the secret passageway. Wrong! I just like to think of the game calling me like an idiot for going in the wrong door. Mario RPGs have always been high-ranking projects for my channel, and when I announced that Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga would essentially be the project I'd be starting 2018 with, along with being the next Mario RPG game I would cover, you know, instead of Sticker Star, I knew the year was going to have a very strong start. Although I don't consider Superstar Saga to be on the same level as Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, or even Super Mario RPG, I know there are many people who would disagree, and I can definitely see why. For all intents and purposes, Superstar Saga is a hilarious game, an incredibly fun and accessible RPG, and it's quite literally a game that just knows how to deliver on every single aspect. Just when you think the game is about to wrap up and end, it just decides to throw another curveball at you to keep the action and the story moving, which is completely fine in my book. Although it only made to number 5 in this year's list, after Mario having a lot of success with other RPGs in the past, I suppose that's really a testament to how strong the other games were this year, because I knew Superstar Saga got this year off to a very, very strong start, and it will allow me to cover some more Mario and Luigi games in the coming years. Hey, anything to delay Sticker Star, am I right? Okay, so next we have Wendy O. Wendy O. Koopa. Luigi, not even required. For years, it felt like every single video of mine had one very consistent comment. Could you do a replay of the Simpsons Hit and Run? I always found these comments interesting because the playthrough that they were referring to was technically already a redo, but I guess when there is one game people really enjoy you playing, it's only natural that they want more of it. So this year I decided to do a replay of the Simpsons Hit and Run, a game that has gotten me a lot of views on YouTube, with the first video having been the only video of mine to break the 2 million view barrier. It's also, in my opinion, one of the best early projects of mine on the channel's history, and is a project I'd often recommend people to view at some point in their life. I knew doing a replay of the game would get a lot of attention too, and sure enough, the project did get a lot of views compared to my other games this year, but I think it's safe to say that the golden days of Let's Playing are over, so I don't expect it to ever come close to the same success of the first one. However, it was fun going down memory lane again, and even better is I can now officially say that I've beaten Hit and Run 100% now on video. I think this has also potentially opened up the doors for future replays down the line too, so I think that's something else we can surely expect for the future now.
Eat my dust, dust eaters. Don't forget to ride. Why, I oughta... Aw, loser! Oh, bullpop.
You're a Lance Murdoch, Bart. Without the full body cast, of course.
Give it time. And the
I don't know how I pulled that off. But I'll take it. I am not going to complain about that. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, Fortune Street, Super Paper Mario. These have been some of my longest project endeavors, and after this year, Fire Emblem 7 is looking to join that list as well. Maybe not necessarily in terms of number of videos, but I did spend a very, very long time working on this. I started working on the game back in April, and that's just in terms of when I started uploading the videos, as I'd already started recording in March by that point. but it wasn't until we were bordering on November when I had finally finished recording the final videos of the project. This was a very, very long one, folks, and I think I made it even more stressful on myself by incurring the wrath of the editing nightmare that was Hector mode when I decided one day, sure, I'll do another full playthrough of this game and just cut out all the padding on the second go around. Yeah, I think I may have bit off a bit more than I could chew at that point. With all that being said though, Fire Emblem 7 is easily one of my favorite games of all time, so if I had to put myself through the ringer for one of these projects, I'm glad it was a game that I at least enjoyed to a very high degree. And all things considered, I do think it's a very good playthrough. I covered a lot of stuff in content, I finished a Fire Emblem game without any major delays or cancellations, and I think I put it best in the last video when I said I pretty much spent half a year playing one of my all-time favorite video games. You honestly can't get it any better than that, and I'm glad I played through the game because of that. It's a great game, has a great story, it has great characters, the turn-based strategic gameplay is on point. I love this game. That's really all I have to say about it. I love this game. I enjoyed working on the project. I'm glad I worked on this project. And it easily was a highlight of 2018 for me, working on this incredible game. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Oh man, that guy is coming for Eubens. He wants to destroy Eubens. I wonder if there's like some secret plot there, like maybe Eubens dated that mercenary's mom and then like never called her back like the next day, so he's very, very pressured to get some revenge on him. That's gotta be the lore. That has to be the lore. For mercenary's mom! Well, wrecked. When I first started recording Super Mario Kart back in 2013, I had always wondered if Mario Kart would become the new Mario Party on my channel, and I think in a very roundabout way it has kind of become that way. When Mario Kart 7 came out, I honestly didn't spend a whole lot of time with it, so when it was scheduled to be my next Mario Kart game on YouTube, I was honestly looking forward to trying out the game again to see if it had any redeeming values left despite the superior version of Mario Kart 8 already being released to the public. And you know what? I was pleasantly surprised with how much fun I found myself having. The game still controls very well, the online play works great, and I swear the project ended way too quickly because I just lost track of time with how much fun I was having when I was recording. Seriously, if you don't have the Wii U or the Nintendo Switch, or just a way to play Mario Kart 8 in general, Mario Kart 7 still holds up very well and doesn't feel outdated in the least bit. I had a really good time with this one, and I look forward to the Mario Kart 8 playthrough coming up this next year. Kind of sad that 8 will be the last Mario Kart playthrough for a while, since it's literally the most recent game, but I'm sure there are many other Mario spin-off games we can get acquainted with in the meantime. Also, on the subject of Mario Kart 7, I know I promised you guys some online community videos where you guys could join in on the fun. I still plan to do those at some point before the Mario Kart 8 project. I just got caught up with a lot of different things and never had time to host that. I'll try to look for some time to do those when I get back from AGDQ in the middle of January, so please just hold tight on that front. But yeah, as far as Mario Kart 7 was concerned, great playthrough, I really enjoyed it, and it makes me look forward to the future of Mario Kart. Also, this is the last section of the race. Holy crap. I'm more than likely not gonna win this. I don't know, there's a blue shell coming. I'm not gonna give up hope just yet. Also, I saw that bomb. That was mean. Oh! Hell yeah! Oh man, I cannot believe I stole that at the end. Holy crap. Is that going to be a 3-star too? Oh man, we'll have to see. And before we reveal the #1 game for this year, let's have some honorable mentions and take a look at all the games that didn't quite make the list. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering what the heck my number 1 is, at least for those who haven't been keeping track. And, well, we've gotten through all the Mario games, we've already seen Hit and Run and Fire Emblem 2. What could I be hiding at the number 1 spot? Well, this might seem a little unorthodox, but for the top spot I have picked, not 1, but 2 games, in the form of The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. Now, why have I done this? Well, aside from the games really standing out as separate entities and also as one exciting Link game experience, I just really felt that of all the games I covered this year on the channel, these 2 projects were some of my best work. I think the commentary was on point, we got some pretty good running jokes and memes out of the playthroughs from the obnoxious Fairy Woods music, and of course, good old lovable Tree Wife. And I think the greatest takeaway from these projects was, before this playthrough, I had really only completed these games once before. So despite not being incredibly knowledgeable about the games, I got through them just fine without any major difficulty, and had a really fun time doing so. I think it's a testament to just how really good these games are. They were released during a time when Zelda was probably the most popular, and yet they still got overshadowed by the juggernauts that were Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and heck, even by Wind Waker, which came a few years after. But even then, the good quality of these games show, and they show very, very well, and still hold up very nicely even to this day. So kudos to Nintendo and Capcom for partnering up and making a really good Zelda experience here. Although I will say I did enjoy the Ages playthrough a bit more than the Seasons one, I feel like Seasons set a pretty strong bar to start with, and I went into the Ages playthrough with some very good momentum because of that, so it didn't really feel right separating them in this case. So with that, I give the 2018 crown to both of them. Also, let's say hello once again to good old wifey here. She's probably just like thinking, what are you doing? You're just going around in circles. It's like, yeah, well, that's pretty much the life of a hero. Get used to it. And see, now that I've killed some enemies, I can go back here and see if we got something good. Yeah! Yes! I'm awesome at this game! How about up? Oh my god! It's the music that's getting to me, like, most of all. Okay, this looks different. Oh, it did. Okay, hold on. Actually, I don't think I went this far. Ba-da-da-da-da! Okay. There we go. What? You found us all? You're good, mister. No, you guys are just annoying. Ah, you found us all. Okay, we won't tease you anymore. We'll put the forest back in order. Can we just get out of here so we don't have to hear this music anymore? So while we walk to the boss room, you know, we had the 6 main bosses from Zelda 1. Classic Zelda bosses. We even had Mothula, who wasn't in Zelda 1, but, you know, was in Link to the Past. Very familiar for how annoying that boss fight is in Link to the Past. Who are we going to have for the final boss of this dungeon? Well, another classic boss! It's Medusa! You know, Medusa. Classic Zelda 1. Classic. Because who knows, we might be able to find something to do. Also, Maple. No! Oh, I don't know if I can get that. Oh! Victory! I can get a potion too. Wait, is there a ring? Oh my god! I think I got the ring too. I do not know how I grabbed that heart piece. That hard piece was completely out of reach, but I got it, and I'm happy about that. Woo! So that's going to do it for the list this year, but before we go, I have one more announcement and award to hand out, and that is the 2018 Viewer's Choice Project of the Year. For this title, there was one game that I felt to be incredibly likely to win this one, just due to the nature of how this project came to be in the first place. And after looking at the final poll results, I am not shocked or surprised in the least bit here, because the winner of the viewer choice pick was none other than the Simpsons Hit and Run. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final poll results here. Yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run, really not surprised that it took number one, even over all the Mario games, which basically followed right after. And yeah, as you can plainly see, Mario was definitely, once again, highly voted for, highly viewed, so really not surprised to see the rest of the top five being nothing but Mario. But, you know, after the success of Simpsons Hit and Run in the past, I kind of had a feeling it was going to be number one. As far as my own personal surprises, I am surprised to see Fire Emblem actually in 6th place. Not because I think that's too low or anything. Actually, I kind of expected to be a lot lower on this list, but it seems like I have a pretty strong Fire Emblem following, which is strange because I know that you know, when it comes to turn-based strategy games, it's not everyone's cup of tea and everything. But even more than that, I'm actually a little more surprised to see the Oracle games score so low. And here I am actually ranking it as my project of the year, but here it, you know, got as high as 10th place. So I did find that kind of a little interesting, but you know, different strokes for different folks. I know that my Mario playthroughs are generally pretty popular with people, so I'm sure that a lot of my viewer base are Mario fans, and it's probably a lot of Mario fans that are voting. And, you know, there's not anything wrong with that. I do think my Mario playthroughs are great. After all, I did have 2 Mario games myself in my own personal top 5, so they were definitely strong projects, but it is interesting taking a look at this list, and you know, it does kind of put things into perspective. I do think it was a good call making the changes to this video the way I did. I think it is kind of good to have my own personal opinion and then just kind of take a look at these after the fact, just to compare and just kind of see you know, where those potential biases come in maybe a little bit. And yeah, you know, I'm still giving recognition to all the other projects that did very well in both lists. So it was definitely a fun year. I really enjoyed playing through all the games that I did this year, and I look forward to covering more games next year. So while we are on the subject of 2019, this is usually the part of the video where I start giving some hints and some teasers of what projects you can expect for the upcoming calendar year. And, well, let's go ahead and get right into it. So for the next year, you can definitely expect me to continue on with many of the series I've been working on this year. Stuff like Crash Bandicoot, Donkey Kong Land, Mega Man Game Boy, and Mega Man Classic series. I will be trying to put the next installments of those series at some point during the year. I've already mentioned Mario Kart 8 and Mario Party Star Rush will be on the agenda as well. One of which may actually be here a lot sooner than you think it will be. So those will definitely be covered. There's been a couple of series that I didn't actually touch for 2018 at all. I will be trying to go back to those and continue on with those series as well. There was one indie game I really wanted to start this year in 2018, but I never got around to it, so I guess I'll just have to dig it out of this schedule and put it on the next year's schedule, so I'll probably try to get to that at some point as well. And of course, we have some other big playthroughs planned as well, playthroughs I'm very, very excited to kind of hint at and reveal as we kind of go through the next couple of months. So yeah, here are some hints for those playthroughs I'm getting really excited about, so if you guys want to speculate on what those playthroughs and what those games might be, go right ahead in the video comments section. Number 1, an adventure that will take us to the far reaches of space, where we will need to dash, blast, and hunt our way to success. Number 2, a great kingdom is drowned by darkness and will summon a legendary hero to save the day once again. Number 3, a quest for survival turns into a hunt for a familiar face we haven't seen in a while. Number 4, a kid named Brian looks for a book and his father in this very notorious N64 RPG. Number 5, hint number 4 is just a meme. Don't give it any actual consideration because Who would voluntarily play Quiz 64? Seriously, no. And yeah, those are all the hints I'm going to give. Obviously, that's not going to be all the games I'll be doing. There'll probably be some other games mixed into the equation at some point. Obviously, can't really predict how a schedule is going to turn out, so I may have to change some things around or move some playthroughs to other dates and other times. But that's just something we'll have to play it by ear as we go along. Tomorrow I'm not going to have any actual Let's Play uploads. I'll be having a video kind of talking about my schedule this year and how I'll be changing things. As I've mentioned numerous times in the last couple of months, I am no longer going to be doing daily uploads. I'm going to be shifting to a more of a light schedule in terms of uploading. I'll still be uploading on a pretty regular basis though, so do not worry. This is not the end for my channel by any means, but do have to kind of take a step back from YouTube for a bit, so I hope you guys understand, and of course I'll have more information about that tomorrow if you want to look at it. But thanks for you guys for making this a very memorable year. I had a lot of fun, as I usually do, making YouTube uploads for you guys, also for streaming stuff as well. It's been a great time uploading videos and streaming stuff on a pretty regular basis, and I appreciate all the support I've gotten for these many years. So yeah, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you guys in 2019. Later, folks.